Welcome to episode 2 of What Teachers Have to Say. I hope you caught our previous one on artificial intelligence. That was a pretty good conversation. We've got a good one. We just finished recording it. It went a little off the rails, but we're going to be talking in the best way. We're going to be talking about professional development.
Yeah, buckle up for that.
Buckle up for that one. So we're in Palm Springs on location.
Palm Springs.
Yeah, we're shooting on location from our hotel room at the National Spring Q, the Computer Using Educators Conference. It's pretty incredible down here. It's our second year that we've come. So much to do here.
There's so much.
Right?
Here.
So the census is down since pre-COVID. I heard last night, actually, from the organizers.
Okay.
They're right about 3,500 this year. It felt like more.
It
right?
did.
It felt like
significantly more.
A full year is like 6 to 8.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
compared to the way it is right now, 6 to 8, you'd be shoulder to shoulder with people all day.
Yeah, people were jokingly calling it the mini ISTE.
Yeah.
Right? You know, ISTE conferences is known for like standing out in front and lines, and then you never get into your things and things like that.
Sessions
are
closed.
Totally closed.
Yep.
But so they're growing back. It's exciting. You know, Q is an incredible, the computer using educators. That name did not age well. It's so funny right now. You're like, I'm going to the Q conference, and people are like, no, computer using educators. I swear,
you are. What do you mean?
But it's good to see it building back. It's such a great organization. But so we were talking like professional development, right? Like, so we're here going in and out of sessions. I love the idea of hallway PD. Like, they talk a lot about that here. Just yesterday, Nathan and I were walking down the hallway, and they had a whole booth set up called Q Live, and they, we were like, hey, what are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, come on in. And so that all of a sudden we're streaming live and being interviewed and talking about stuff, and like all the hallway hugs and the, that community that gets built here.
Yeah.
So this is like your second time here.
Yeah, my second time as well. Conferencing to me, I come from more of like a higher ed training. So I was, PhD bound really. And so like conferencing to me was always just a thing that you did.
Yeah.
It's a thing that you did. You did your research and then you needed to share it. Like that was a responsibility. That's part of your profession. And it's interesting to me that often in, K-12, educators don't look at it that way. I mean, you're not actively researching, or at least that's not a part of your job. So I understand that part. But at the same time, you need a community. You need a community to interact with and push your ideas forward. It's just not like... It's not good to just sit in your classroom and just sit in a box.
Especially after what we've been coming through, like that whole don't cloister yourself off. Go out. Yeah. Maybe don't hang out in the teacher's staff room if that's not a healthy place to be in your school. Yeah. Ours is. We love it. We actually have a teacher whose husband brings in video game consoles.
Yeah, he's got full on when you go to round table pizza or whatever, and then there's a Pac-Man table. It's like that. It's a good environment.
Yeah, I love it. We've got a scale on the like a trash talking, and so everybody puts their score down in trash talks, and everyone, admin on down through janitorial, and everybody, we're all hanging out there because community is so important. Right? That's why I love coming to conferences. I love seeing people, meeting them. We're all over social media, and then you get to shake hands and hug and be like, yeah, we've known each other in this different space, and now we get to experience each other face to face, which is super important. I'm actually presenting on that today a little bit.
Yes. Really good panel.
It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. We're doing, it's called Get on the Talk.
Get on the Talk.
Using TikTok as micro professional development and a professional learning network, right? Building community and learning through that, which sparked kind of our conversation about professional development, because that's like a hot button out there. So I think it's why we wanted to talk about it on What Teachers Have to Say. Oh, new merch. Woo, love it. Shout out to Julie Carr. I happen to know her.
Yeah.
And the makers of Cricket.
Yeah. Cricket. Thank you. For the merch.
Yeah, but it'll be fun. What I love about coming to these conferences, they're so hands-on. They're so energy-filled. The keynote speaker last night was like my life in hip-hop.
Yeah.
Like using hip-hop as a platform
So good.
for his teaching. It's super cool. But we've been talking to so many people about professional development, and like there's some really bad PD out there right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like we don't want to shame individual entities at all.
No call outs here.
No call outs here, but like we've all sat through where like the publisher sends the one person that just like, this could have been an email, right? The 7-hour email. So, I just think it's really important to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. Hopefully today we're going to go out and video people on the street and really get the like what teachers have to say. So be looking for a bonus episode. We're hoping to drop that, some people at the conference. But I'm curious. So you've been in higher ed, you've been in lower ed. Sounds pejorative. Lower ed. And you're also kind of newer to the public education sphere.
Yeah, definitely.
What year is this now?
This is actually... So I actually finished my credential at the very beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
So
it's a great time to finish a credential, Nathan.
Yeah, it was great timing on my part. Then I wasn't employed full time at that point. So it was kind of doing a lot of part time and teaching guitar. I taught music primarily as a one-on-one guitar lessons for a long time, and so then I kind of transitioned to that worked well. But yeah, this is only, I've been in and around teaching for about 10 years, but this is only my second year of full-time public school teaching. Right, huh? Yeah,
I think
I haven't even cleared my credential yet.
Yeah,
don't want
if you need a mentor, let me know.
Yeah.
I know a guy across the hall.
I know a guy.
I think this is like years 17, 16.
Yeah.
As like full-time professional, like public educator.
Yeah.
And so, we start to see these cycles come around, like the same thing gets rinsed and repeated in just unhelpful ways.
Yeah.
And yet also, like, I'm somebody who loves learning and developing skills.
Right.
Like, so, I think a lot of educators are there, and yet we're so burnt. Like, you get on TikTok and there's a whole side of TikTok about crappy PD.
Oh, for real. Yeah. It's such a common complaint, and I think it's because, it seems so forced.
Yeah.
It seems so forced because I almost feel like districts need something to do.
Dude, districts need something to do.
It's almost like admin needs something to do. Sorry. And then, to prove your relevance. And so you're trying to do things that are going to help your teachers, or at least that's hopefully what you're doing.
Yeah.
But the problem is there does seem to be a disconnect there, and it seems very forced. It seems like here's yet another training.
Yeah.
We all have mandatory trainings. Of course we do, because we're in public education. It's a good reminder.
I think I've got one that's outstanding, and it's due by April.
I know. I do, too. I keep getting the reminder emails. You have to do this training. Sorry, I'm like, right. Yeah. Sorry, HR.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it seems so forced.
Yeah.
There's not a good connection between what teachers need and then the training that's being provided to them.
Yeah. So, I think this is a great time to ask our viewers and our listeners. We have incredible teachers out there that I can't even believe it. Second episode in, we have so much feedback coming in from people. Thank you. It's great.
Yeah.
So take a moment. If you're on a platform where you can comment, I would love to hear, what are your stories around professional development? Are you somebody who decides what's professional development? Yeah. Are you somebody who's like, it's put upon you and you can't seem to get out of it, right? You're the one that's just like doing email and doodling during that. I'd love to hear those. And also on Twitter, we've got, our platform on Twitter and some other places that just find us and interact with us. Love to hear what teachers have to say. It's almost like it's in the title.
Yeah. In our hallway PD that we've been doing, because we're at a conference, it's been really cool to get some of those other perspectives. Because before we're going to do a podcast, we're going to go around and try to gather some opinions from other educators in our field that we know. And that's been really interesting and given us a lot to kind of chew on here for this episode.
Yeah, so last night we were at Shakey's Pizza, call out Palm Springs Shakey's. The Edge Protocols community, which we're densely a part of from Facebook, had a meetup at the national conference. And we walked around and kind of filmed some people and we're streaming live, and we got some great feedback. Some of the ones that really stuck with me, like the one of those themes that kept coming through, people were like, number one, keep the scope small.
Yeah. Don't
fire hose me with like tons and tons of information. Keep the scope small. Yep. Oh, and I love, people were like, look, if the training's on UDL, use UDL.
You better be doing the thing.
Give me time to engage, process, do it at my own pace, my own way. Like, give me choice. And like so often it's literally just like park and bark. Right? Like, I'm just going to sit down and you're going to open the fire hose and stream it at me, and I'm not going to get any of it. Yeah. And then the other one that was really salient, people were like, I have to be able to either leave with something I have built for my situation to immediately put into practice, or have a pathway that I can just immediately drop that one thing into practice and then have further effective, I'm going to put that in there, effective follow-up. Not just like, how did it go? Fine. Here's my Mentimeter. I'm using Mentimeter. No shit. I love Mentimeter. I'm using that. But, you get that feedback like, I'm going to slide it over to like fair, and then that's the last feedback I ever get.
Right. Yeah. Just push the little buttons that are all in the middle. Neutral. All right, done.
There's some bad PD out there.
There is.
There's some great PD too.
There is. I mean, the fire hose thing, to go back to that, I've been at some trainings, and there's one. So I'm also a yearbook advisor at my school. So I go to yearbook trainings that are hosted by our publisher, Herf Jones. And yearbook, of course, is like such a multifaceted, difficult thing to do. It really helps to have some background in publishing, which I do, which is, I think, the only reason I'm doing it as first and second year. This is my second year doing that. But you go to these trainings and they're just like full fire hose, and our rep is just like, she has this saying, she goes, find your happy place. Just find your happy place. Find the one thing that you can hold on to, that you're going to take with you, and find your happy place. And I feel like there's not enough of that, actually, like, especially if there's a fire hose delivery of information. Yeah. Just
and does it help?
And there's no choice.
Being in talk about that. Like that yearbook training, it's so niche.
It is
right? Niche. Is it easier to sit through the fire hose knowing that like you really need that information? Or is that not enough?
It's not enough, actually. I think because I know I need the information, I look around at other advisors, and because there's so much turnover, I think, in education right now, you're seeing a lot of really, really new advisors that are either just put into that role or told to do it.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of experience. And you just see the fear in their face. And, they're just sitting down there and terrified because they know that they're behind the curve. And I almost feel like educators get in that position a lot, where you are keeping your head down for such a long time that you're just like, oh, I'm behind the curve, but I don't know how to get back on the curve. And so then you're just getting all of this information very, very quickly. And it's like, you can't process any of it. Yeah. And you just see terror.
Well, I wonder how much of that just terror. They're like, I just need a fluffy pillow.
And that actually is part of how I felt the first one I ever went to with my, actually even before I started yearbook advising, there was like a pre-year, advisor training. And it was so much information so fast that, that even with my experience and knowledge going into it, I was like, I didn't really catch any of that because it's so specific. I have to interact with the publisher in a very specific way on their terms, using their platform, using their tools. And I know Adobe InDesign, but I don't know Herf Jones eDesign. Yeah. So this is a whole new platform I have to learn. I have to learn all of their like business side of things. And that first training was just pure terror. And then I went back for the the following year and was like, okay, since I learned from experience through trying and failing through all that first year, then I came back to the second training with actually, I knew what I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, there's a difference between knowing what you don't know and and actively trying to engage in those things to learn and to grow. And then there's, you don't know what you don't know. And then you're just...
Are we going to talk Dunning-Kruger effect in every podcast episode?
Hey.
Well, but I think it speaks to the heart of something that I've been thinking a lot about, and you and I have talked about. So maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, John Carippo, EduProtocols, incredible educator, incredible professional development.
Yeah, we love
presenter.
John. We got to get him on the podcast.
Right? I've learned so much in presenting from him.
He's a pro.
And for people that are listening out there, if you've been through my PD, I hope it was not awful. Right? I hope it was enjoyable. But I was listening to a podcast with John Carippo, and he was talking about teacher burnout, right? Because I think that plays into this a lot.
It totally does.
And that, you know, where you just confirmed it, where like just because it's needful, you recognize the importance of it as an educator. You recognize that it's needful, it's important, it's good. That's not enough to make it meaningful after, like, to go through the professional development. It's not enough. And what John was talking about there in terms of burnout was that he was like, burnout isn't only about lack of pay, lack of time, you know, these things that are true, but he goes, so much of it is a lack of feeling successful, right? Because like nobody got into teaching thinking like, I'm gonna get rich, right? Yeah. I'm gonna park my Lambo in the staff.
You know what you're
lot.
in for. There's no gull-wing doors on your Nissan Maxima.
Right?
We understand.
Like, yeah, like this is not the path, and if it is, you might want to find a better advisor. Yeah. But like we will do so much hard work. So much hard work when it feels good. Yeah. When we see that moment on a kid's face where you're like, that's it right there.
That light bulb.
That's the thing. Like, you know, short stories. So like Fast and the Curious EduProtocols, right? Yeah. It's so much fun. Using GimKit to just gamify multiple choice stuff. And so I learned it from John Carippo in a professional development. And so I use it a lot in my classroom. We were doing these fallacies, this like crazy hard GimKit thing. Yeah. And I've got a student, and this student, he's kind of on the periphery. He doesn't love engaging. He's very kind, but he's just kind of like, nah, this isn't my bag, right? I don't really want to do this. He's learned the system. We all know that kid.
Totally.
So he was sitting in a chemistry class. I teach English, right? He's sitting in a chemistry class, and all of a sudden his name pops up in my GimKit. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So he played 2 rounds from a different class and won. And came down to my classroom mid-period and collected his prize. Because he knew, like, I have this prize, this box of unimpressive prizes. And the kids were like, oh my gosh, is he going to come get a prize? Like, are you going to give it to him? Like, absolutely, right? Of course. Because he felt successful. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this works.
Yeah.
I want to know more.
You have a kid playing a game in another teacher's class.
And I had to check in with the teacher, and I'm like, was that cool? She's like, yeah, I knew it was cool. I was just glad to see him working, you know.
But like, oh my god, think about like all of the other things that he could have been doing.
I've literally watched him watch Netflix in a classroom. Yeah, like he could have been doing that.
Yeah, he could.
So to him, what I had gathered from a professional development, was better than Netflix. We're just gonna say it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's great
for you know, a teenager. This is 10th grade, people. This is a sophomore. Yeah, and he's like, this is so engaging. I'm gonna come back around to this because I know Mr. Carr's gonna do it.
It's gonna feel right, and it kind of leads me to this next point that we've been thinking about. Is I experienced that because I had a need. Right, I was brand new to high school. Our principal, who's an incredible, I'm gonna say his name, Matt Harvey. He hates to be recognized.
He does.
He's one of the greatest educators on the planet.
He wins awards constantly. Which award did he win?
He's a Milken educator.
This year?
This year he won, but he's a Milken.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge, if you know what that is, right? It's like the secret conclave of elders that decide upon the winner, and nobody knows who they are.
Illuminati.
He's in the Illuminati. No, he won like Administrator of the Year, you know, for our region in Northern California, things like that. But, you know, he was like, hey, here's this book, check it out, which was top down, which we're going to get into, right? He was like, check it out. But there was no expectation. It was like, this was helpful. If you're interested, I'll buy it for you. It's cool. But then I started seeking it out. And it's, I mean, you know, it's changed everything, right? I'm an author for the Edge of Protocols now. I am doing podcasts. I'm on, you know, presenting Edge of Protocols and stuff because it wasn't top down.
Yep.
And that's, I think, you know, no shame to the administrators out there because they have a job to do. I have a deep respect for administration.
They do.
It is not a job that I want to do. That's not my skill set at all.
No, not at all.
If I was removed from a day-to-day interaction educating students, that would hurt, right?
It would.
That's my bag. I
lot.
recognize that. But I love that you said, like, I'm going to get myself in trouble here. I think about it like environmental lawyers.
Okay.
Time for a metaphor. Here goes the English teacher. Okay, ready?
I don't know where we're going.
So, like, here's my thing. During the 80s, the world was super dirty. We knew this, right? And so, like, environmental law became a huge thing, and they had to just totally clean up. And EPA, all of these things. It was needful. And now there's so many environmental lawyers, I feel at some point that they're trying to keep their jobs.
It's saturated. The market is saturated.
And so I don't mean that as a shade comment to administrators, but they have a role to play. And part of that is professional development. So they see a need and they do their due diligence. And I'm going to keep from a really positive platform of, like, anybody who's in education wants to do well by their people.
Right.
Okay. Sometimes the situation shapes them into a negative space, but we don't need to go there right now.
Sure.
So they're finding things that are needful, that they think they'll be successful, and then they're overlaying that on the school. And that's problematic, right? In high school, I hated Great Expectations. Until I finished the book. And then I read it again in one weekend because somebody told me I had to read it.
Yep.
And, like, my weird arrogance is that way. I know that about myself.
Yeah. I mean,
so
that's why we're here. We don't respect authority. We have hubris.
Have you tried listening to what teachers have to say?
Have you tried listening to what we have to say?
But so I wonder, like, how much of PD is bad simply because, regardless of how important, needful, viable it could be, it comes top down. I would love to hear from our listeners. Like, what do you think about that? Like, if you were given space to seek out your own professional development versus the stuff that is delivered whole school, and we haven't even talked about the fact that, like, every 2 years a brand new program comes out. Gosh, that's frustrating.
It is.
I feel super unsuccessful because I'm not doing what I keep getting asked about. Because I don't know.
The top-down problem is a big one because we know from all kinds of educational research. I mean, like, I'm really into, like, Lev Vygotsky's work.
Throwing down philosophy.
Yeah. Lev Vygotsky is a really, really interesting, like, educational psychologist. It's kind of the early studies in child development.
Yeah.
And, like, how we learn things, and ZPD comes from Vygotsky's ideas.
The zone of proximal development.
Zone of proximal development. Yeah. In education, there is an acronym for everything.
You all know that.
Everything. So anyway, zone of proximal development. We know that we don't learn. What makes learning sticky, what makes it stay with you, is when you recognize for yourself that you have a need of knowledge, that you have need of a skill, that you have to learn certain things in order to move forward with what you want to do. So it must come from, we talk a lot about the Simon Sinek, where's your why, right?
Gosh.
And they always start PD with that. Where's your
why?
What is your why?
You should know that by now.
We know, dude.
Why?
I was in college forever to get here. It's like, I did.
I'm about to get written up.
Somebody
asked me my why. You can put that in my QM file.
Yeah, we know what our why is.
Why?
Okay.
Yeah.
We know what the why is. We know why we're here. We don't know why you're here. Like that's really what it is. So if it doesn't come from you, if it doesn't have that authentic, I recognize that I need this skill, and you will be a mentor for me, and I found my mentor,
and I'm ready to receive it.
I'm
my
ready
vessel
to receive
is open.
This knowledge. If I'm ready to receive this knowledge, it will stick. I will learn it. Yeah. You would be amazed how fast you can learn a skill once you are excited about it and you recognize you need those things. And it's come up so much for me in my music career and in my music teaching, because it comes down to, can you do the thing?
Yeah.
Can you do the thing that you want to do? It's like, here's this song you want to play, right? And here is the skills you don't have to play that song. You want to play AC/DC Back in Black. Here's the things you need to learn. You need to learn these chords. You need to learn these shapes. You need to learn how to control the guitar strings this way. You need to learn how to do all these little fine finger movements to do it. And you're going to have to practice those things. And you're going to have to get better and better and better at them. And once you recognize you have a goal in mind, and then you have skills in between you and that goal, and you need to get those skills.
And then you start feeling successful, right?
Yep. So it has to come bottom up. It can't come top down. But I really love your example with Matt, because that's such an interesting moment. You have an administrator here who is a mentor.
Absolutely.
That's his life. That's his life. And that's why he's an admin, and why he's such a good leader as an administrator, because he's in it. He's in the practice. He knows what's up.
Well, and we have to recognize we're really lucky at the school that we're at.
Extremely.
Our district is incredible.
Yeah.
So our model, hey, if you're looking for a model, here's the model.
Yeah.
Yes, we have top-down professional development. Okay, 3 days a year, momentum days. It is top-down.
It is.
But we also know that every single educator has one conference of their own choice that they will fund.
Yep. That's another thing that's built into our model.
Yeah.
Is like
we come here.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
I couldn't. The Palm
plane tickets and all.
Palm Springs is really expensive.
It's so expensive.
Look at this hotel room. Okay.
It was $5 for a Red Bull.
Seriously. So, like, there's no way as educators we could afford to really do this, until the podcast takes off.
Yeah.
But it's just like, there's no way we could do this, but our system is investing in us as professionals.
Well, let's talk UDL, right? We got to select the conference, the time of year, and now that we're here, we get to select the sessions. Like, we're going to tons of AI stuff, because that's the conversation. That's where we need.
Go back, watch episode 1, and I think we need to circle back.
So we're going to these really cool. Like, we've got a panel that we're going to go to later today. It's like 5 or 6 incredible educators in the classroom talking about, like, so I've played with this thing, right? I just think there's such a vision of UDL for our students with our personalized learning, and also our personalized learning as teachers. That vision just works. And like we've talked about, like, so much of the problem is that this top-down structure of professional development, they're spending millions of dollars.
Millions.
Like, we're a tiny district. That's different. There are huge districts that are paying, heaven only knows just how much money is being spent to fire hose educators that walk away disgruntled, unhappy, and not willing to put that in. Not everybody. I don't want to put everybody. I don't want to can everybody in that.
No.
And there's really good times for that. But I can't help but think, like, GPT-4 dropped a couple of days ago. The change in artificial intelligence accessibility from November till now, right? It's St. Patrick's Day. I don't have any green on.
I'll pinch you.
I can't help but think, like, why are we bringing the worksheet person in when I can literally make the worst copy and paste of like a worksheet into ChatGPT, and it returns the answers. And now GPT-4, where it's kind of available, where you can drop an image in. These kids are going to be able to like put a PNG of a worksheet in, and it's going to spit it back out. They'll handwrite the answers, turn it in, and they're good.
It's game over for the worksheet.
Winter is coming.
Winter
is coming. Like the wall is down.
Is going to fall. We know it. The dragon is here. The undead dragon. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler. That's like saying Darth Vader is Luke's dad at this point. Like, sorry, like it was a generation ago. But like, I can't help but think what that machine is still turning, and it has blinders on. Because so much, even at this conference, so much of the professional development out there it's obsolete. It's going to be very shortly.
Yeah. If it's not obsolete now, it's going to be very, very quickly.
Yeah.
I was talking with an educator the other day, and he was talking about he's done deep dives with ChatGPT. So he was looking at curricula, upcoming curricula, and he's like, I could build this. Yeah. Like even the person with the worksheet, the deliverable, that can be created in seconds.
Yeah.
In moments of your time. And so where's curriculum development going?
Yeah.
First of all. Like that's probably another podcast.
Like it has to hurt to know that we're sitting through professional development for things that absolutely are obsolete next year.
Yeah.
In
many cases.
In many cases. Not all cases. And I think we have to, what makes good PD, right? We got to be back on topic.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay.
Back on topic.
I go a little I
do too. I can't help but wonder, like, so Edge Protocols is meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Right? And so much of it is because it's stripped down to fundamental skills, usable skills done repetition after repetition after repetition. It's not product oriented at all.
No.
And AI is integrating cool ways into both as a teaching practice and as a student reception, right? Mm-hmm. Through Edge Protocols and things like that. So I wonder, like, moving forward, does professional development need to, I don't mean scaled back, but like reinforce fundamental pedagogies that are not going to become obsolete through AI, right? Like we talk about questioning strategies. That's viable.
Totally viable.
Questioning strategies becomes prompt engineering. Prompt engineering will go away. They're trying to get it to go away.
Right.
But like for now, like I would sit through questioning strategies. I would sit through things like that.
Yeah. Because that would be relevant. It's not it's almost like you have to pull back on the specificity of things and narrow in on the fundamental skills rather than this is the worksheet that you do. And actually, even in the Edge Protocols community that we're a part of, like it really is, it's a framework. It's a framework. But still, educators are so used to the teachers pay teachers. Where's the worksheet? Yeah. I just need the thing. I just need the deliverable. I just need the deliverable. I don't like. Yeah.
Like maybe I should start selling prompts on teachers pay teachers.
Yeah. Like here's a ChatGPT prompt structure. Fill in the blanks and you get what you want.
Yeah.
That actually is probably.
That's not a bad idea.
A pretty good idea.
I'll give them out for free. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, I'm curious what listeners think about that.
Yeah.
What do you think out there? Are you integrating AI? Have you sat through professional development AI? Are we totally off our rockers? Like we're very progressive in our education. I know that. Yeah. We're in a location that allows us to do that.
We have the
like
privilege.
We have listeners out there that we've talked to this week that are like, Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I cannot do what I feel is right because of the structures and systems of my district.
Yes.
And like they're out there, and I'm sorry for that. I am.
Yep.
I hurt inside knowing that.
It comes back to, you mentioned like a vision.
Yeah.
And it circles back around. Do school districts have a vision for the future? How far behind the curve actually is public education?
Yeah.
Like what do you think? I think it's pretty far behind the curve. And it takes so long.
There's such a long, like, the range, the scale of what public education is.
Yeah.
You know, like we're way over here in personalized learning.
Right.
You know, and our school even has like 3 different models for kids.
Yep.
From like total homeschool to like you're basically going to college while you're in high school and like hybridized.
Everything in
and
between.
then you've got the other side, which is, I'm going to call it, it's the dark side, where like teachers don't even have keys to their classrooms. You know, they're not allowed in the building after hours. You know, they're not treated as professionals. So why would they be able to select their own professional development? Why, you know, teachers clearly aren't professional enough.
Yeah,
don't soundbite that. That would be awful. You know, like there's not enough trust and vision in them as professionals to even run their classroom day to day, let alone like a year.
Yeah.
Just stick to the script.
Stick to the script. You might as well just walk in, read off.
Like, how obsolete is that?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I don't want to get too political on that, but I think there's a whole other reason for that. Yeah. Right? They don't want creatives creating the next generation.
But the problem with that is that is going to be the market of jobs.
I know.
Very quickly.
And Gen Z ain't having none of it.
No.
There's going to be a lot of middle fingers thrown in the air.
They're already
here.
So many.
We're seeing it. And unfortunately, it's coming out. I'm talking out of my league here now, but like it's showcasing as violence against the classroom teacher.
Yeah. Violence is a real problem right now. I mean, of course, there's a psychological aspect. There's trauma.
People are hurting out there.
Trauma. There's a lot of trauma out there, especially post-pandemic. And, you know, even I was talking with Mr. Harvey, Matt, that we mentioned earlier, and he's like,
dude, that's 3 times with Matthew Harvey. We love you, Matt.
We love you, Matt.
He listens, by the way.
Oh, hello.
It's okay. You don't have to make eye contact.
I'll get my grade books done, I promise.
He's gonna hate this so much.
He's gonna hate it so much. But
Mary's gonna love it.
But yeah, I was talking with him and we were just, you know, broing down a little bit, and he was talking like, you know, I don't think things are ever going to be what they were pre-pandemic. Like the things that we're seeing, we're going to be dealing with for this generation of students, and that has a lot of weight.
They might be the code breakers.
They might be, especially with artificial intelligence, powered by artificial intelligence, because what it enables you to do, or at least what we're seeing, is it enables you to express yourself in a way that has very few limitations. And granted, it does too much of the work sometimes in what you're saying. Like yes, it would be better if you drew that yourself rather than describing what you want it to look like and then having you know,
I'm afraid of the kid that's playing Guitar Hero and thinks they're playing guitar.
Yes, that is a great analogy.
Right? And they don't know because Dunning-Kruger, they don't, you know, they're like, no, it's fine. I push the buttons and the music happens and now I'm playing Black and Black.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They're not playing AC/DC.
Sometimes those kids love that song. Actually,
you're cooler than that.
I think I've taught that song more than any other song.
But like, you know, that idea of like, oh, the essay, like the beloved essay, like, look, I wrote this essay. Like, no, you kind of engineered the essay.
Yeah.
You know, if I gave you a pencil and paper, it wouldn't come out the same because you skipped the skill building side of it.
Yes. So that is still necessary.
Super necessary.
And then kind of picking up ideas from episode 1. How do we instill in students that they need the value to do that?
They're missing the aura.
They're missing the aura. And so what is the PD that will teach us
Right.
how to give them the aura.
If anybody has that
what...
idea, I would love to. Could you imagine going to a PD? Sorry, I feel like I'm talking over you.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited.
It's exciting.
And then we're going to like go out there and talk to like
and we're gonna
thousands of teachers.
We're going to go talk.
What would it be like to come to an AI-based training?
Oh, man.
Where you come, we're going here. This is going to happen at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Where you come in with an essential question.
Yep.
And you craft with other educators through AI to build your own PD that's relevant and utilizes artificial intelligence interfacing with students. What would that be like? So like at the end of the session, at the end of the 3-hour set, every single person or maybe groups and conclaves of people come out with wildly different
and individualized things. Built for you, by you, but the
training was the skill of learning yourself.
Know thyself.
Do we just need to have an entire episode like meandering through ed philosophy?
Probably.
Incoming Steiner.
Because I almost feel like that is the thing that is going to be more relevant. It's the thing that becomes more and more relevant because the rote skill, and I don't mean to say that that will make all of those things irrelevant.
No,
I'm really pumping
not.
the brakes on that. But going back to those fundamental practices, the what is your why is a philosophy.
Yeah.
It is know thyself.
Yeah. And it is important, but it's been bastardized.
Yeah.
And it hurts when people are like, "What's your why?" You're like, "I know what my why is. Stop asking me what my why is."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's almost manipulative. It's like emotional manipulation where it's like, it's for the children.
There is that in education.
Right?
A lot.
Like, I need you to come to this crappy professional development because it's for the children.
Right.
Like, how am I supposed to say no to that?
And
now I just feel bad about myself for feeling bad about myself.
And then you go into the classroom and nothing that you just did.
Where the kids are like, that was not for me.
That was not for me. Didn't work.
That was not for this here.
I feel like going back to the school districts. The school districts need vision right now.
Yeah.
They need to be looking ahead because I really do believe that education is going to continue to move towards an individualized model.
Yep.
The pandemic broke the you must have your butt in the chair 5 days a week model.
And some individuals are.
Yeah.
I need that much structure.
Do. Some students absolutely need
like
that
we
much
see
structure all the time. In our program, we are a public school. So I don't want you to get any idea that we're in some kind of very isolated white
tower. We're like
tower.
Low demographic, super high ACEs scores.
I have 4 homeless
My wife's
students.
district has been evacuated every single year for 6 years. Like,
yeah, we're boots on the ground, but the model is so different. So then we will get half of our population is like transfers in from a traditional setting.
Yeah.
And it goes one of two ways. Either the traditional setting was not working for them in a real way. Not that they just weren't participating.
Yeah.
But they were really struggling to fit into that structure.
Clinical anxiety.
They come over to our structure.
A lot of autistic students.
So many. And they're able to flourish in our environment.
Yeah.
I have one student that I've been working with. This is my second year working with him, and you know him. He's in your class right now. But he's when he came to me, his mom came at me so hard.
Oh yeah,
because she was so used to just being completely and totally ignored by the public school system for all of her students' needs. And she reflected to me. She was like, I am amazed that you haven't sent him out of the class. But this was within like the first couple of weeks. He was like, how bad is it? And I was like, he's doing
awesome.
He's doing great. She's like, what do you mean he's doing great? Like she was genuinely like, you're pulling the wool over my eyes in some way. I'm like, no, this model's really working for him.
I've been that parent.
Yeah.
I've been the parent.
Totally.
I've been the parent yelling in an IEP for my children that weren't being serviced.
Yeah.
I've been that parent.
Yeah. It's there. So sometimes this is the model where that student now has the opportunity to flourish.
Like where was the vision for the educators that were trying to help that child.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, couldn't access that space within themselves.
Yeah. For whatever was preventing them.
I mean, very few educators get into it because they're bad people.
Yeah. It's
right.
You cannot get into education.
I mean,
sit around and do nothing.
Yeah, there are teachers out there that shouldn't be.
Absolutely.
We can't gloss over that.
Yeah,
there are people that treat that child poorly.
You know them
on like a soul level. Mm-hmm. It's a very small minority.
Yeah, it's one.
And then there's this whole other liminal place of like hurt people.
Yep, that too.
Yeah, we're like, I got to protect myself so much I can't right now.
Yeah. So then you have that model where that kid comes to this alternative space and is able to flourish because it's individualized for him. Then you get another kid who comes to the space that we offer that has been so broken by a traditional model. If you don't know this, children love to learn things.
They love it.
They love to learn things.
They play Minecraft.
But they've been, exactly. And video games are hard and difficult. If you've ever tried to play a game, it's hard. There's a lot of death. It's really hard. Let's not go there. But it's really hard to play video games, and they're doing this very hard task for hours and hours and hours and learning all kinds of new skills to do it. So you have a student come to us that's been in that model, that's been broken by that model, and then they don't know how to participate anymore. And they don't even know how to create the individualized education that I'm trying to offer them. And those are the students that really fail in that model and that also need more structure, but they also need it to be individualized. And we've always been trying to move toward that.
Yeah. And by the time we catch them in high school, it's hard to help them unlearn that and to heal that hurt. You know, at most we have 4 years.
Yeah.
Some students do it quickly.
Some students adapt, they understand, they get to a point where they can express themselves and pick up what we have to offer. But yeah, I said there was 2 options. Maybe there's a third option.
Yeah, I think there's
where there's definitely a student that wants to learn, but really does need supervision.
Absolutely.
Every day. Meet with every teacher every day.
And their home life doesn't support the independence. And you know, parents are working hard and they don't have space to monitor their child on, you know, they need that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say daycare because older kids don't need daycare, but they need a safe place to be under supervision.
Exactly. And there is room for that too. Like, not to say that the traditional model doesn't work. It totally could work.
Beautiful for some students.
It totally could work. Sometimes it's their lifeline and they need to be in school every day and they need that structure and they need those relationships with their mentors and their adults. What is getting in the way of that then?
Yeah.
You know, we need to start to envision what a community school might look like.
Yeah, so how do we wrap this all up?
Yeah.
I mean,
where did we come from? Where did we go? We started
to our ADHD brain.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah. We started with PD and then kind of went through this, like, it's coming for you.
Yeah, winter
AI
is coming.
AI
is coming for you. I think that maybe the central thread, help me, dear listener, maybe the central thread is personalized learning for all. Yeah, right. I'm a human being. Mm-hmm. I need what I need in order to be successful and feel good about my career, and to heal on the inside, to have that space to help another child through their educational pathway. And so I need to have the personalization to find what I need so that I can help them find their personalized thing. And I mean, thank heavens for AI. Personalizing education is hard.
It's very
difficult. Time consuming.
Very time consuming.
And like the things that you can do through AI to personalize an education plan, it takes the time burden off the educator.
It does. Quick story.
Yeah.
I have several students right now who have struggled in English classes. And this is where I was like, okay, I have enough clout.
Yeah.
And degrees and pieces of paper that I could totally justify this if it was ever called into question. But I
have paper.
I have paper. But yeah, no, there were some students that have been in some difficult home life situations and have some credit recovery to do in order to graduate. And they're right there at the end of their rope. And I was just like, look, you have suffered through English classes your whole academic career. How are you going to recover these credits? I can give you the packet work. I could do that.
Yep.
Or we can brainstorm something together that might be relevant to you. And the only reason that I had time to do this is because of artificial intelligence. So I was just like, what's a book, what's a series that you're really into? And this student goes, oh, I'm really into this manga series, Seven Deadly Sins. I'm really, and I kind of know about, there's a Netflix show. I have a vague understanding of what it is. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to see if I can design a personalized English class for you, for your credit recovery. This is not them learning fundamental skills. This is them getting the credits.
Yeah.
So, let's play. And I built a whole year-long credit recovery program for this specific whole series. There's many, many volumes, and I'm having read all of them. There's 42 volumes.
Jeez.
Yeah. And they're getting through it so fast.
That's working.
Because they're so into it, because it's their thing. And then I was able to just tell ChatGPT, here, are you familiar with this series? Yes, I'm familiar with this series. It was published by this author at this time, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, you have that information in you. That's a really good technique to use, by the way, is to make sure that ChatGPT knows what it is, and also you yourself know a little bit enough, because it does throw some wrong information out there still, it's getting better. And it came back at me with beautiful activities, writing activities, companion texts that were relevant.
Right. Objective based, standards aligned.
Standards aligned. I asked it to align to standards, and it says, totally, got you. Please check this, though. And I was like, yeah, of course I will. It's
starting to give that disclaimer.
Yeah.
Double check this.
Yeah,
please, I will, don't worry.
Please double check this. I will. I got you, ChatGPT. Yeah. But give me the raw materials, and it gave me beautiful raw materials. That class is going wonderfully. The student's going to recover all their credit in the amount of time that they need, even though they are homeless, they are struggling, but they're so excited about this thing. And it never would have gone that way.
Absolutely not.
Never would have gone that way.
It would have taken so long to plan.
So long.
I mean, can you imagine a 1-year curriculum for one child?
Yeah.
Nope. Absolutely
out
not.
of my mind. There's no
mind.
way I could have even done that. But because I was super powered and I had just enough information and I have all of my educational knowledge of what their skills they need to justify them getting this high school credit and graduating, Well,
and to clarify that too, the traditional high school English teacher doesn't have space to do that for every
Absolutely
kid.
Not.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. And I don't want people to misconstrue me and think that okay, now everybody go out and make. No, absolutely not.
Nope.
However, it's possible.
It's a possibility now.
It's and that, going back to vision, kind of wrapping things up here. Mm-hmm. The vision is could we, if we're going to be rebuilding education, because it's needing a little tweak. It's going to be
coming down. Well, as we keep saying,
winter is coming. Maybe there's space for that, systemically, procedurally, to give educators the space to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And even in our situation, it's limited.
It is.
I couldn't do that for all of my kids right now.
No, I'm talking about
and then
one
follow
student.
up with it and track it and make certain that the learning's happening and remediate it. And absolutely not.
Yeah. And I trust the student a lot too. We have
a
It's not like I'm lobbing this out.
So maybe the takeaways for PD is, where's the vision?
Where's the vision?
Is it personalized? Is it going to fulfill me as a human educator and a learner myself?
And is it going to fill my students?
Is it going to translate to my student feeling successful and invigorated and enlivened? Because to learn is human.
So
we like doing it.
We love it.
We don't like feeling bad about ourselves and getting bad grades. We don't like that. And we'll absolutely middle fingers all the way for that one. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I think that's where we're at.
That's where we're
there's
at,
good
guys.
PD, there's crappy PD.
Yep.
Personalized is a future
bottom up,
and
maybe even from students bottom up.
I want to know what people have to say about this. Hit us up on Twitter, comment in whichever platform you're on. Share this with people. We're having so much fun doing it.
We need to have more conversations. We need more voices in the room, because I have a very particular, specific, weird perspective, as does Jake. We vibe well together, but that doesn't mean it's just us.
No.
We need to vibe with
break
other
the
people
echo
as
chamber.
well.
I would love to start getting people either on the podcast or at least sound clips of people weighing in on it.
Totally.
You know, like
that's definitely where we're going.
Yeah. Like we've talked about maybe a future episode. I don't know if it's next or whatever, a future episode. I would love to talk about when and why did the school become the clearinghouse for social programs?
That's true. Yeah. It's
and not to say that it's bad at all.
No.
Right?
No.
But like, I'm curious, how did that happen? That like the school became, who decided the school was the place for hearing and vision and food services and mental health and all of those things that are wicked important and needed. I'm just really curious. When did that happen? When did that shift happen? So if you have a knowledge about that, I would love to know. Find us. Find us on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. We're not on Instagram yet. Oh yeah, we're on Instagram.
No, we're on Instagram.
Find us wherever it is and contact us, because I would love to have that conversation.
Definitely.
I've loved this conversation.
Absolutely. And just a little preview, we've done a little research into this topic just because it's on the table for a conversation.
Yeah.
And what is the official federal government's number one priority of education? We looked this up recently. Of the Build Back Better plan.
The number one priority.
Right
maybe
now,
that's the only one we'll get into. The number one priority in education from the U.S. Department of Education on their website is safety.
Health and safety. Number one.
And so that's what sparked that conversation of like, why are we in school?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Hard questions.
Stay tuned. Share us with your friends. Bye now. Good episode.
Good one.